Coming up on 21 News, President Donald Trump travels to several states in the aftermath of Hurricane Harvey. An Ohio police officer is under fire after this routine traffic stop turns deadly.
If there would be some sort of an accident due to the slipperiness of the track, it was just better for us to cancel.
Safety concerns cancel a popular event at the Campfield Fair tonight. How spectators can get their money back. A nail-biting season opener for the YSU Penguins, the team taking on Pitt, ending the game in overtime. Mike Ackelson will have the highlights.
Locally owned, locally connected. Live from the 21 News studios in downtown Youngstown, this is 21 News, 11 p.m.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Caroline Collins. President Donald Trump was back in Texas visiting with victims of Hurricane Harvey, and first responders still working on the ground there. Jay Gray reports from Houston.
I'm proud to introduce you to the president.
President Trump back in the strike zone for the second time since the storm, spending time with survivors and first responders in Houston and Lake Charles, Louisiana.
I want to congratulate everybody that's worked so hard. It's been an incredible 5 days, 6 days. This was, it seems like it's much longer than that.
The president is asking Congress for $7.9 billion as an initial disaster relief package. Some have estimated the total cost for the cleanup and recovery will reach close to $200 billion. But in many areas, that recovery will have to wait.
It's water all the way up to my roof now. My whole neighborhood is flooded out.
And in some neighborhoods, the floodwaters are still rising. In places where the water's gone, the work is just beginning.
Oh, it feels good to help them out, because it could happen to anyone.
Piles of debris have replaced pools of water in this neighborhood, and dozens more survivors doing whatever they can to come back.
Thank you. Be good.
Another push towards some kind of normal here. The Astros back and playing baseball, but not before collecting donations for the victims of Harvey and calling for a moment of silence. But only a moment. There's too much work to do here. Jay Gray, NBC News, Houston.
Volunteers from right here in the valley are heading to Texas to help the victims of the Harvey floods firsthand. The American Red Cross of the Mahoning Valley sent 25 volunteers to the areas most affected by the flooding. The group is also collecting donations to help the victims who've been forced to leave their homes.
Right now, the money is being used to shelter people. So we have people there trained in how to set up a shelter. We have, at one count yesterday, 30-some thousand people in shelters.
Conklin says monetary donations are preferred because the American Red Cross has buying power to purchase items in bulk. Donations can be made online or in person. Here in the valley, the rain and cool weather putting a damper on Labor Day weekend plans. Showers hit parts of the valley throughout the day. Meteorologist Andrew DiPaolo is joining us. How's the rest of the holiday weekend looking, Andrew?
Well, Caroline, the good news is it was only sticking around for 24 hours. So tomorrow and even Monday looking even better. But yeah, we had the remnants of post-tropical cyclone Harvey here making its way up towards the northeast. That's what provided us with those cloudy skies and that off and on drizzle we had throughout the day. We're going to see a cold front actually moving through a little later overnight, bringing us even more showers, but a closer look at home. Cloudy skies all across the Mahoning and Chenango valleys. A quick look outside on our Window World weather camera right now. The sheen of the rain on the roadways on 422. 57 for a temperature. What, Caroline? We have more to talk about in the form of tropics. I'll be talking about that coming up here in a few minutes.
We sure do, Andrew. Thank you. North Korea claims that it has developed a more advanced nuclear weapon capable of being launched on a long-range missile. North Korea's state news agency released photos showing leader Kim Jong-un inspecting a hydrogen bomb at a nuclear lab. The news agency says the bomb will be loaded on a new intercontinental ballistic missile. Outside, experts are likely to doubt the claim that North Korea has mastered hydrogen technology. In local news, a judge signed an order this week authorizing the Mahoning County Sheriff's Department to use a drone in a highly publicized murder case. It's the case involving Nasser Hamad, the man accused of shooting 5 people in a van, killing 2 in Howland. The drone will fly over Route 46 in Howland, where the crime took place, allowing the jurors to look at the crime scene. A police department in Kettering released dashcam video of an officer-involved shooting during a routine traffic stop last Sunday. This video may be disturbing, we have to warn you. It shows Officer Jonathan McCoy pulling over a van and talking to passenger Jason Hoops. During the conversation, the officer said he noticed a gun in Hoops' pocket and told him to put his hands on the dash. Hoops reportedly moved towards the weapon. The officer shot his gun 9 times. Hoops later died at the hospital. The Kettering police chief says the reason the officer fired is because Hoops kept moving his hands towards his weapon.
The individual kept dropping his hands down to his waist. Officer McCoy kept telling him, as you heard, put your hands on the dash. We know that he put his hands up or he put them on his dash, and then he kept dropping them down towards his waist.
Not do anything stupid.
He says Officer McCoy will likely remain on administrative leave until the grand jury's hands down a decision. The Euclid police officer who recorded repeatedly punching a black man after a traffic stop now has 30 more days added to his unpaid suspension. Euclid Mayor Kristen Gale announced the added suspension for patrol officer Michael Amiot on Friday. The city's police chief previously suspended him 15 days for the August 12th encounter. The Cuyahoga County Prosecutor's Office says they're investigating and working with the U.S. Attorney's Office in Cleveland. Workers gathered today in Boardman to protest the outsourcing of jobs. Janet Rogers tells us their focus is on keeping jobs in America and holding politicians accountable.
Communication workers, United Auto Workers, and state lawmakers joined forces with Our Revolution, which is traveling through Ohio, Pennsylvania, and 3 states to galvanize workers, to hold corporations and politicians accountable.
Working class families of this nation have done more than their fair share to lift the profits of corporations.
They want President Trump to sign legislation that would stop the U.S. government from giving lucrative contracts to corporations that ship jobs overseas. They ask all workers to join the fight.
Text Good Jobs USA to 97779 to join our fight.
Corporations pay overseas workers, as we've heard, less than $2 an hour, sometimes for a 12-hour shift.
So the world, it will continue to spiral downward until we put a stop to it.
Ohio state lawmakers from our region have introduced House Bill 245 and Senate Bill 156. Their aim to stop corporations from taking money, then moving jobs overseas.
We must ensure that our state government, that our taxpayer dollars support call center jobs within our borders.
If you're going to take incentives to move call centers into Ohio, you can't leave with those incentives.
We need politicians from all walks of life to stand up and make it their job to fight for your job.
With more local news, I'm Janet Rogers.
On 21 News, health safety concerns were behind a major event cancellation tonight at the fair. The tractor pull, a favorite event for many at the Canfield Fair, won't be happening this year. It was scheduled to take place tonight, but was canceled. The event was supposed to start at 7 originally, but then was canceled just before 8:30. The rain turned the track into a large mud puddle, which could cause problems for the show. About 3,000 people were at the grandstands waiting for the show to start. All of those who bought tickets will get their money back.
If they were purchasing tickets, if they used a credit card, they will be automatically refunded to them. We'll do that through Ticketmaster. If they paid cash for their tickets or check, they can come to the fairgrounds office, box office, or the fair office. We have a form. They must bring their tickets. They must fill out the form with name, address, and phone number, and we will send them a check in approximately 3 weeks.
A big disappointment for many there. That's always a favorite event. Well, this weather is what's holding some people back from attending the 171st annual Canfield Fair. The fair is heading into day 4, and with the surprisingly cold temperatures, there's no surprise attendance has been down. Thursday was the lowest day in attendance, but the fair is expected to bring in large crowds Sunday and Monday as John Mellencamp and Chris Young hit the stage in the grandstand. That's going to be one to watch. Those who did make it out to the Canfield Fair were able to experience its first ag venture, an 11-stop trip through the fairgrounds highlighting the agricultural side of the fair. It features everything from honeybees to antique machines, letting you collect a stamp at each stop to try and win a prize. And we hope to see you at the 21 WFMJ 10 at the Canfield Fair as well. Mike, Case, Krista, Jess, and I will be there from 9 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon tomorrow. Then from 1 to 5, come on out and meet Leslie and Derek. We will have our signature bags available. I know everybody loves getting those bags. In addition to our ever popular fair bags, we'll have a donation box present at our tent as well. All of the money we collect will go towards helping the American Red Cross. They'll be helping those affected by the floods in Texas. And if you're going to the fair tomorrow, you can attend a Catholic praise and worship service between 9 and 11. Go to the Dress a Cow contest at 1 and catch the John Mellencamp concert at the grandstand at 8 in the evening. The fair is filled with activities for all ages. Take a look at some of these fair pics sent us from our viewers. You can tell everyone is just having so much fun. There's some who even stop by our WFMJ tent. We love seeing those faces. If you have a picture you want to share with us, please email them to canfieldfairpics@wfmj.com. Remember, no copyrighted pictures, please. For more pictures plus information on all of the events, videos, and more, go to wfmj.com, and we cannot wait to see you tomorrow morning through the afternoon at the fair. Well, Sunday will be a big day at the Canfield Fair, rain or shine, really. We're just hoping for a warm-up. Andrew will be in next to tell us what he expects to happen tomorrow as we go into the last few days at the fair.
Full update throughout the next couple of days or so, keeping a very close eye on that.
Great, thank you, Andrew, and looking forward to the fair tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a great day.
Good weather. Thank you. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Charges are expected to be refiled in the deadly Penn State fraternity case. District Attorney Stacey Parks Miller says she wants to refile involuntary manslaughter charges against 8 members of the fraternity. Yesterday, a judge threw out those charges against the brothers after a pledge's alcohol-related death last February. 12 of its members are to stand trial on a range of lesser charges. Ohioans have pushed a mandate onto this fall's ballot. It aims to rein in the skyrocketing costs of prescription drugs. Figuring out the exact savings it would bring in is no easy task. The citizen-initiated statute would bar state agencies from buying drugs at prices higher than those paid by the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, which receives big discounts. Coming up, the YSU football team pushes the University of Pittsburgh to overtime, only to come up short at Heinz Field.
He's getting some free windows from a promotion they did this year.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Mike.
Got it.
For more local news, weather, and sports, and any breaking news, log on to WFMJ.com or download our 21 News app. Have a good night, everyone.